in these markets that are sort of swinging towards a buyer's market, if there's something, well, let's just say if there's a little job that needs doing, just do it. All of the little things that the buyer doesn't need to do will equate to a good offer, or them making an offer.
Going once, going twice, sold. You're listening to The Property Pod.
All right, guys, welcome back to The Property Pod, your weekly engagement into real estate here in the Hobart Marketplace. I'm your host, Aaron Horn, and I'm joined at the desk today by Patrick Berry. Woohoo! What's up, my man?
Oh, just excited to be back again.
It's good. Look, I'll put it out there. It's our second week for the year. We had to scramble at the last minute to get the guest because John's not about.
Just disappeared this week.
Yeah.
Actually, no idea where John is. I think he's in Melbourne, but I wouldn't know because he's told me that. It's just because he...
I do think he dropped a clue in last week's show. If you were an eagle-eyed listener, there was a clue that we're going to Melbourne for Luke's, or Adelaide, or wherever they're going, for Luke's wedding.
We were supposed to, from that, understand that meant he was away for 7 days.
Correct. Correct.
See what's wrong with that?
So what we've done is we've reached out to the office. We've looked wide and far, and luckily this guest just happened to be in the sales pit when I was
Anyone there?
At that
particular time. He was the only one about because everyone was out. But I'm actually really excited about this. I've brought in MartinEvans. He joins us on the pod. Not only is Martin a creative and passionate real estate agent, but he's a top performer in his very own and our very own backyard here in Glenorchy. Here's a stat for you. Top sales agent in the 7010 postcode over the past 24 months. Look at his head grow as I'm saying this. Martin has sold an impressive 24 properties in Glenorchy for a median sale price of $602,000. So with his skills in negotiation, his commitment to creating a positive experience for all of his clients, it's no wonder Martin has achieved so much success. So now that I've pumped up your tyres, Martin, welcome to the Property Pod.
Well, thank you very much, Aaron, and glad to be here, mate.
I thought I'd do a little sandwich there where I'd say like, look, we just found the guy. I just went into the sales pit. I'll bring him down, but then I was like, I'm bringing him all the way back up on the journey. I really want him to know that we do appreciate him
Mission accomplished.
Oh, good.
Fantastic.
Oh, good. Well, for our listeners out there on this podcast, can you give them an idea about who MartinEvans is and how you got into the industry, etc.?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no worries. So I was in sales. In the automotive repair industry, and Paul and Patrick are they're relatives. They're all part of the same family.
Classic Tasmania.
And I think it went down to way back in 2010. These guys were looking for a new salesperson. The conversation was had in regards to, hey, Marty, interested in real estate?
I think it was similar to yesterday when Aaron got you here for the pod.
Yeah.
You were in the room, so I was like,
I float on the breeze, man. No, I had been in the industry that I was in for quite some time, knew it like the back of my hand, and it felt right for a new challenge. So
that's about 12 years, if you're saying 2010 is kind of where you entered the game.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
for sure.
2010 was when I became a real estate agent.
13 years now, 2023. It's crazy. So tell us about your journey. How do you find it? How's the market changed across the 13-year span of being a real estate agent? And we can call you a real estate agent, can't we? You're actually official.
Fully fledged real estate agent. They got the diploma and all the rest of it. The interesting. So 13 years on, markets change.
Yep.
We all know that the market went nuts a few years back. The back half of 2016, I suppose. And now we are entering a challenging market. But it's okay. It just comes down to what we've done before in the slower markets where, you nurture your buyers and your sellers. And
that's where you're probably slightly luckier compared to some of our other agents, like, for example, Sam and Aaron. They're experiencing that for the first time. But you're like me, John McGregor and Chris and Paul, we've been through it before.
Yeah.
So sort of know what's coming.
That's exactly right. Just hold on and keep your head down. And, as I was saying, just nurture, just keep working at it. It's pass and parcel with the whole thing. Just got to,
it is funny. You can kind of walk around the offices and just see this look in the eyes of some that haven't been through this before. Just been like, oh my goodness, like, are we going to ride out this storm? Whereas, a bit of cooler heads are prevailing in that Yeah, we've been through this. We know how to kind of manage ourselves through this kind of trickier period.
It's actually kind of nice, this slightly slower market, because for the last 4 years, we've been just going flat stick nonstop all day, every day, 7 days a week.
Yep.
And sure, it's been nice because we were able to make sales and make, some
Yeah,
good money.
for sure.
However,
Yeah.
now that it's a bit quieter and you're getting that more time to work with your clients, better understand them. Like most of our vendors over the last few years, we've spent a week with them and then we're on to the next one.
Yeah, okay.
And now we're
Yeah,
starting
I
to
agree.
get to know them better, understand what it is they're actually trying to do,
Yeah,
and just talk
yeah.
through different ways to make it happen. It may not be plan A that we set out with. It might be plan B, C, or D that finally gets it done.
Yep.
And gets them onto their next chapter in life. But it's just working through that, which has been
And it's
is
enhancing
fun.
your skills
Yeah.
as a real estate agent. So everyone that hasn't been through this market before is going to, their skills are going to be enriched from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt that there's a little bit extra time for coffee as well, which is nice.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but and you're right, Pat. You hang on to your listings for a little bit longer in most cases. But as you said, it just gives you an opportunity to get to know your buyers and your sellers and all of the other bits in between.
Yeah, definitely. John McGregor talks about it a lot. He loves this market, especially working with buyers, because the way you can be successful in this market is to really nurture those buyers and understand what it is they're looking for and, go out and find it. If you don't have it for sale at the moment, go find where it is and help connect the two together. And,
true.
And that's what John really enjoys. He talks about it quite often, doesn't he?
He loves to let us know about that and all the people that he has in his corner, and he brings them around and says, "Oh, this person's on my team and this is my friend." So I'd be really interested in, it's really good that we're talking about skills. I've kind of got a list of questions here, and one of them was kind of the skills that you've brought over from your previous career, and then kind of the skills that you see being important in a real estate agent. What are some of the things that you value as a real estate agent, Martin?
Well, okay. So as I said, I was in the automotive repair industry, and I guess the skills there was, look, I knew the trade quite well. I came from a tradie in there. So one thing was product knowledge.
Yep.
And just giving good service to my clients meant that I kept those accounts and grew them, and didn't let the opposition in, just through good service,
Yep.
knowing the products, and and being honest and transparent.
Now, I'd guess as well you touched there that you used to be a tradie because you used to spray cars before you started selling the product.
Yep.
Would I be right in saying that you were quite successful in that industry as well, because you knew your demographic, you knew your market, so you weren't rocking up to sell spray paint in a suit and telling them that this whiz-bang product was the best thing ever? It'd be
Perfect,
more
yeah.
rocking up on a Friday with a beer and
Yeah, well, I was actually a tech rep, which meant that I could get in there with a new product at different repair shops and
show how it works.
Yeah, show them how it works, and get the old spray gun out. And
Because I think that flows through in what we do here in this industry. Like we work the northern suburbs. I definitely work the northern suburbs, and I feel that I can dress a little bit more casual because of who I'm dealing with. Like I'm not built for selling,
That is
North
casual
Hobart,
and this
Sandy Bay, but I think there's a real knack that people want to work with who they get along well with in this industry and in
I
any
agree.
sales industry. Yeah, so obviously your skills have helped you really grow in the area, and especially Glenorchy, which is your backyard, isn't it? You live here yourself.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So I live here, and it is. I feel it's a real advantage because you're talking to buyers and sellers, and you can point out all of the features of the area, and you've been there, you've done that. So
Yep.
I
Point out where the best schools are. Point out.
Of course, but it's just great to know the demographic. So
Yep.
it just makes it easier for buyers to trust you.
Me personally, as a real estate agent as well, I think it's best listing in your own backyard because travel time. Like you go list a house down at, let's use Dodgers Ferry, which for people that aren't listening locally, it's about a 40-minute drive from where we are recording today.
yeah.
But to go show a house, that's, nearly 2 hours of your day by the time you leave, show it, come back. Like
I agree.
it's a lot better being more successful in your backyard because it's a 5-minute drive and you can get onto the next showing and the next.
Well, you roll down there, you get in, open up the house, pull the blinds, and then you get that text message, "Can't make it, mate, sorry." Why I order?
And it just happened to be Friday at 3:30 where the traffic's the worst.
Yeah, it's true.
No, it's interesting. So your wife runs a business in the
Yeah.
Glenorchy area. Do you want to talk about that a little bit and kind of let people know how that you're engaged in the community, not just as a real estate agent, but
Sure. Yeah. So my wife has been running Janina's Dance Workshop up in Bosco Drive in Glenorchy there, up near the Dominic School. Been in business for over 30 years doing that. And it's not so much a business for her, it's her passion.
Yeah.
She loves it. It's not about the money, and it has never been about the money for her. She just truly loves it. So, and that is why she's been so successful. I think it one plays off the other.
I was going to say, it seems like a testament to the amount of people that roll through the school and come out and I was only at I don't know what it was, something down Princess Wharf recently, and the tiny little tots were there dancing away.
Yeah.
And the smile on Janina's face was like, this is the first time I've ever seen my little girls kill it. And it's like, this is every day she's out there seeing this.
She just loves it.
Yeah.
She loves it. And of course, yes, putting back into the communities is really large. It's what we love to do.
Yep.
And at every opportunity we try and do that. So at the moment we're looking at giving a bit of time to some oldies over the river.
Okay.
Yeah. So I shouldn't say that. I don't want to be disrespectful when I say oldies because I'm an oldie. But, see if we can get some dancing kids together. Just
some mature age students.
Some kids just to entertain an old age home. I wasn't sure where that was going.
You're the one that took it somewhere else.
So that's my wife, Janina. She loves it. She's it's a very successful school, and I guess a lot of what she does rubs off on me in regards to what I do here as well. Just the care factor.
Yep.
It's important, I feel.
So can you also give us a bit more detail on what you're doing when you're not real estating? Because you're obviously a pretty active guy. You're not only assisting with the dance school and the king of the backstage or running the bar.
I'm the maintenance guy. I'm the guy that cuts the grass and fixes the props.
You're the jack of all trades. But you're out there in the community, sporting groups, kind of. Yeah. What do you do when you're not selling property? When you're not at an open home?
Most mornings start off with a little fitness class.
Ooh la la.
Get my hour of fitness going early in the morning. With your wife, actually, tag with Abby.
I thought you guys were too cool for each other these days, and she's on a different time slot.
Class, yeah.
But you cross paths between the two classes.
That's what I mean. We did this morning, just high five on the way out. So I am a rubbish golfer, but I do enjoy the game, so I try and get out a couple of times. It's only about twice a month, actually, so once every couple of weeks. Have a hit of the golf balls, which is fun. And AFL 9s is something I do too. So, just a little game of, I guess it's AFL morphed with netball, soccer, morphed with, it's an interesting one, but it's a lot of fun. So at a couple of different parts of the year, we, different times of the year, we go out and do that. So,
circling back to your rubbish golf skills, if you can't beat Abby in the gym because she's pretty competitive in that space, Marty, I took her to the driving range with Parker last Sunday. Yeah. And I tell you what, your rubbish golfing is Tiger Woods quality. I think Abby was aiming for those weather balloons that were floating around up in space.
Well, it's one of those things, as we all know, we've all played it. We understand why there's so much prize money in it, because it's such a hard game to play.
Bloody hard sport to hit a ball.
So apart from that, so that's sports wise, that's what I love to do. Get out and about. The odd lap around the Risdon Brook Dam every now and again is good. The fun runs and things like that. I think you've got to stay active. I'm in my mid-50s now, so it's important to, if you can, to just get out there.
You're looking as sharp as a tack, mate. It shows that you're out there, keeping yourself physically fit. I saw Pat was in his active wear yesterday as well, heading down the gym. So you might have another 5 a.m. starter.
I don't think so. I'm not a gym morning person. I'm a barely wake up morning person.
It all starts happening for you later on in the day. Yeah, fair enough.
I got to just gear myself up to anything active wise.
A couple of coffees first before you get in there.
Lots of fun. No, so look, it's obviously that you're active out in the community. You're building that database of knowledge, both in sales, but then in being, a pretty decent human being, kind of breaking down that barrier of a real estate agent's DIC case.
True. Yeah, I mean, everyone needs to be, a well-rounded sort of person. You just can't stick at one thing. You've got to spread yourself out a bit. But yeah, the stigma of, real estate agents, especially over the last few years too, where we have copped it because of the,
Well, you could sell a cardboard box basically for $100 grand.
Yeah, I've always, the last few years I've said you could write an address and a price on a paper plane, throw it outside, someone will pick it up and say, oh, I'll buy that. That's how easy it was. So,
She's saying that.
I've said that a few times. You could picture it though, couldn't you? It's such a market we've had. So so it's interesting. You've got to bring all your skills to this market, and it's challenging, and I love it. It's great.
All right. So just before we wrap up, hit us with some details on kind of how to be successful as a buyer seller in the coming market. What do you see as the way to buy and sell in 2023?
Well, being genuine with your buyers and your sellers. Be genuine, honest and transparent. Really important things to do. And of course, as much as you can, know the property that you're selling. At the time of, the appraisal, just, jot down all the features of the property and ask good questions without being too intrusive. You don't want to make people feel uncomfortable, but ask the right questions so you know the motivation of the seller.
Yep.
And then on the flip, when it comes to the buyer, ask those right questions as well and get to know what they're looking for. And then, of course, they've chosen this house to come and have a look at. So you've really got to represent your buyers. Once again, it goes back to knowing your product, knowing the property that you're selling and just being honest and transparent about the whole thing. It helps, as we touched on, it helps knowing your area, so you can be of assistance there with with the schools and the shops and the
100%.
businesses. So, just to wrap that up in a bundle, that's basically what you need to do. You just need to be genuine.
And if I'm a vendor listening today and I'm deciding, yep, Martin sounds like the guy for me.
Yep.
What would be your top 5 tips for me as far as presenting the home or getting it ready to be able to sell it? So like, if you were to walk into my house today, and what are 5 key things that you're looking for in a place to be able to say, yes, this one's going to be a ripper?
Well, presentation straight away. As soon as you walk through the front gate, just make sure that you've trimmed your trees and your bushes back, and it's.
Oh, you won't be selling Pat's then. His grass has turned into straw. He said.
Straw.
There's a lot of that.
I'm a typical tenant at the moment, Martin. And us tenants, we don't believe in gardening. We just let it go.
Yeah, when it gets past your knees, okay, maybe. Look, first things first is your first impressions. You've really got to tidy that place up. If you've got pets, make sure that they're under control and there's, not too many pet smells going on in there, because that's just another thing, the sense of smell as well, walking through the front door.
It is often one we forget about it, but it hits you it sticks in the mind.
It just gives you that. So, whether it's your pets or your cooking or whatever it may be, it's something to keep in mind. And just making sure that everything is neat and tidy, because in these markets that are sort of swinging towards a buyer's market, if there's something, well, let's just say if there's a little job that needs doing, just do it. I mean, there's only so much that we can do, but all of the little things that the buyer doesn't need to do will equate to a good offer, or them making an offer. If there's bits and pieces that it's like, we'll be right,
What would John call this, Pat?
Oh, you're throwing me on the spot now.
I thought you'd know it. He mentions it every third week. Removing the butts.
Oh, removing the butts.
I like this place, but...
Yeah, cool. I understand that,
And he's a butt man. He's a big butt man.
It's interesting you point out neat and tidy. I went to an open home on Saturday with Hamish to look at it, and online... The photographer had done wizard work like what you
That's
do
what we do.
every week as.
Yep.
And obviously the agent had gone in and given very similar advice to yourself, Marty, because it was beautifully presented. Everything was in its spot until you got to the 4th bedroom. You could only just open the door because they had put everything in there and like literally closed it and pretended that just it's not part of the house.
No.
I'm okay with that though, because, the agent should be saying, 4th bedroom, junk room.
Yep.
So, everything out here that's nice and neat and tidy, it was out here, it's in there. So
I think the agent had gone around with sticky notes that said junk room.
Oh, I don't mind that. That's good. I should do that on photo shoots.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. See you
Because,
later.
like, presentation-wise, this place was mint.
Yeah, cool.
So, yeah, it's good to see that, there's a lot of value in that. And it definitely pays off because I think there was 12 people through that open home when I was there in that time.
Good
So,
numbers at the moment. Yeah, to get 12 through. Yeah, so that's basically it. You know, price it well within your market. It's very important to know your market, and that's where your real estate agent comes in, to know the market. So there's nothing worse than properties that go onto the market with other agents who perhaps might be from outside the area, and they're just too far above the market. So therefore, that's the first hurdle. As a seller, you've got to try and get over. So, it's just that's it. The whole package. Just price it within the market, get it looking its absolute best,
Now-
and away you go.
if you are struggling to get it looking at its absolute best,
Mm-hmm.
I may have heard a little rumour that you took your own lawnmower out recently to a property.
It's a level of service, Pat. That,
I love this.
So last week we had a settlement happening in the middle of the week. The buyer, the lawns were a bit untidy, and the buyer did actually say, "Hey, look, can we get the lawns done?" There was a compromise. There was an old barbecue and an old table outside. He said, "Look, happy for them to leave them there, but can we mow the lawns?" Spoke to the seller, and the seller was absolutely flat out. He had a lot on his plate and just couldn't do it. So it would have been easy for me to just say, it is what it is. But,
Not Marty.
It was 45 minutes. I can't not do it.
I love
So
this. I love
good,
this.
isn't it?
45 minutes of the time in the middle of the day, and I just whipped the mower over it, and it was sweet. It was great.
Now, I've seen two of our agents here at 414. Well, I have only seen one in person, but I've now heard two stories of our agents.
Is this
here.
Laurie as well?
Yep, Laurie. In suits, mowing lawns and properties.
I was in my suit. I got home into my shorts. and a t-shirt.
Laurie
He
sits
put
above.
his
Yeah.
he put his stubby shorts on. He put on the old singlet, had VB written on there, and he just said, "All right,
Let's go.
Marty's mowing. Here we go."
Terry toweling hat. Let's go.
Well, sun smart. Glad to hear.
Driving past this open home once, and Laurie's in the front yard mowing the lawns in his suit before the open home. I was like,
I can
there
see
is
that.
dedication, making sure that property is perfect.
I love it. I think that's great. Look, it just goes to show the extra touch that goes into selling homes here at 414, and the amount of care. And like you mentioned with your wife before, it's kind of not just a job; it's your passion.
Yeah.
You're out there doing it on the reg. I know that every time you have holidays, you'll still be moseying into the office and be like, "Marty, what are you doing here?" "Oh, I just got to do this for this person and this for that person." It's like,
I need to be out of the country.
Yep.
you do.
Holidays.
You've got to be mandated from here on out. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you
my
for being
pleasure.
the
It's been
person
fantastic,
in the sales bit when I went looking, but also thanks for being the.
For making me feel so welcome and wanted and important.
I just wanted to get your head out the door because we built you up so much. We can't have you walking around just king of the city.
No, it was fun.
Well, you are the king of Glenorchy, so
Yeah.
I've been watching Australian Survivor, and there's the king of Georgetown on there as he calls himself.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, king of Glenorchy over here at the other end of the table.
I don't like that. That's a bit uncomfortable for me. I'm just a battler like everyone else.
Don't mind it. Just before we go, do you have any listings that you want to pump up on the podcast at the moment? You can give your vendors some free publicity.
Okay, one front of mind is 11 Fossbrook Court in Montrose. It's up the hill.
Oh, I
It's
love
like
that,
a rural
yeah.
setting, but it's just up the road.
That giant window that looks out over to the Mona Ferry.
Keep your TV off because the main living room window is just amazing.
Yep.
To sit there and watch the world go by. That's for a large family or professional couple, but lots of space, over 2 levels. The deck, the garden, really good. And I've got a few for investors as well. 206 Risdon Road, Lutana, currently tenanted. Really lovely. It was built in the 50s, solid brick, 4 bedrooms, little workshop underneath. That's brilliant. That's really good. That's had wiring, plumbing, roof, guttering.
The works.
It's a good one for investors to step into. Those probably 2 are front of mind.
No problem. Well, when you get offers on that come Friday when this goes live, just remember who sent you the leads.
No worries at all. There's a beer.
We take a cut. We do here at the Property Pod.
All right, boys. Thank you so much for coming in, Martin. Absolute hoot. Thanks, Pat. Always good to have you at the desk. And
Good to be here.
maybe John will be back next week. Maybe.
we'll find out.
Who knows? That's the Property Pod. Like, share, subscribe, do all those things that we never tell you to do. We'll catch you next week. Bye. You have been listening to The Property Pod, recorded and edited by 414 Media House in conjunction with 414 Property Code.
This podcast is general information only, and the thoughts and views expressed is the opinion of our panel, and listeners should always seek and use their own investigation into any topic we discuss to ensure they fully understand their own situation.
It does not constitute and should not be relied on as purchasing, selling, financial or investment advice or recommendations, express or implied, and it should not be used as an invitation to take up any agent or investment services. No investment decision or activity should be undertaken on the basis of this information without first seeking qualified and professional advice.